We're Rob and Carrie Sorensen. We have 3 kids that have gone through the Cascade School District in this area. Young Life has been a great addition to our kids' life, so it's been fun to watch.
Well, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Seattle. Met my wife at college. Before we were married, we ended up leading music at Young Life at WSU.
I love when Young Life comes to our house. I love being a parent that the kids just can come hang out
And talk. The kids talk to us.
What I am most appreciative of Young Life in that aspect is the relationship building. The kids and the leaders relationship, that's one aspect, that there's always somebody that they can turn to, that they can call on, that makes time for them. And we see that happening in our area with TJ and Miranda and the leaders of the Leavenworth Young Life, and Lizzie and Ben and Michael, and I don't even know who I'm missing. Still, there's a lot of them now.
What's really neat to see is those kids that are just brought into the group, and they may be outcasts, they may be loners, they may be odd ones, but they're brought in and accepted into Young Life, and Young Life brings them in and shares the gospel with them.
My first impression of Young Life in Leavenworth, I specifically remember one, and I don't know if it was the very first one, but I walk in, I had no idea who TJ and Miranda were. Sorry guys, but I had no idea who you were. It was a little weird. But Jordan Brown was there and he was like, no, it's fine, they're cool. Like, you know, they're just here, they're gonna be your leader, that's cool. I'm gonna go, but you guys have fun.
My first impression of the Young Life leaders was a little weird. I mean, like, you guys are just all of a sudden like, hey, how's it going? And you're just like, I'm good. And you're like, oh, you want a hug? No, not really.
I mean, my first impression of TJ was just happy, smiling, and a lot of energy, just because of everything that was going on around us. And like, he's trying to talk with people, and he's talking with Helen, and he's talking with us high schoolers, and then trying to help set dinner up, and it's like, holy cow, I'm hungry.
Miranda is most definitely someone I feel I can call on all the time.
First time I really met TJ was probably after going to Young Life a couple times. I just started talking with him, and he's just a super happy, smiley guy that's always looking to have a good time. And he just walks up and he's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, hi, I'm Chris. You must be TJ. He's like, yeah, I'm TJ. I'm a Young Life leader. Now let's go bowl some turkeys down a hillside. I'm like, okay, let's do it. All right, that sounds like fun.
So, but I specifically remember the game was you took a sock off, and it was like 3 or 4 people. You took a sock off. You put it over the opening of a liter bottle of pop, and you drank the pop bottle, and there was 3 guys up there. I may have puked a little, not really, but that, oh my gosh, I just vividly remember that. I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was like, I wonder if this is how Young Life is gonna go. And it is how it's gone. But that's great. I think that was the best way to start it off.
Like, oh, come on. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that kind of thing. It's just, I mean, overall, it's, they're amazing people that are just dedicating your time to show teenagers like myself or younger and older the amazing life of Jesus.
As far as Jesus moments go at camp, I could definitely feel it with, in me, something sort of re-sparked.
The biggest moment was when the work crew came out, and they were just telling all these stories. And I'm not gonna really get into detail of this one guy's story, but it was just you just sat there and you're speechless, and everyone was quiet. You're sitting in class and some people are talking while the teacher's talking. But this person it just shut the crowd silent, and we're all just listening to how his life was so awful, but yet one little light called Jesus came and just grabbed him and held him so close. And it's just awesome.
So during cabin time, some of the things that we talked about are things that you wouldn't really expect people to have, really. You know, they're things that people kind of keep to themselves or they don't tell anybody. Like a couple of the guys, you know, they had really difficult relationships with their families, or maybe they're going some really tough times with their families, like money is really difficult, and they were super lucky to just go to camp. You know, just being able to hear that kind of stuff, you know, we're all having difficulty with like lust and different things like that, or drug use, or just all these different problems that we have in modern society. And, you know, it was kind of heartbreaking to hear some of the things, but it was also really encouraging because we were able to come together as a cabin and encourage each other and give each other, you know, give each other hope and give each other support for our problems. And that really stuck with me, and it struck me pretty good in my heart.
Everybody looks like they're doing just fine. I mean, it's stressful. And everybody's gotten so good at hiding it that you never suspect it.
In my high school life, people just say, like, how are you doing? Because that's socially what you do, but they don't really care. And she does. She genuinely cares about how I'm doing, how everything's going on in my life right now, how my relationship with Christ is going. Really, she wants to be there. She wants to be there for everyone in Young Life, not just me. But when she's talking to you, she makes it feel like you're the only one she cares about in the best way possible.
Personally, Jesus to me before Young Life was, I mean, I knew of him, I knew the name, but it wasn't like a name where I felt, I don't know, like it's just like something I didn't really consider.
When I stood up at Malibu, I knew that I had made a commitment to trust him and follow him in my darkest and best times.
I wouldn't have anywhere near the quality of relationships or number of relationships with people that I would have if I didn't do Young Life. And I definitely wouldn't have this relationship with God and Jesus that I do without Young Life.